back for another post-match show following West Ham's defeat on the road away to Nottingham Forest. Sorry. Yes, we fall by a score of 1-0. As always, I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Irish Tommy. Mate, how are you feeling?
Very frustrated, Chris. I think Tim just said it. That's just one of the most frustrating games I've watched in a long time. I don't know how we've lost that. It's just the amount of bad luck we had in that game is ridiculous.
Yeah,
When you look at it, like Forest scored one fluky goal. As much as we're patched up at the back, they didn't create very much.
yeah,
Anything Fabianski had to do was routine. Um,
yeah.
and then we've had the ball come down off the underside of the crossbar and not go in twice. Missed a penalty. Soucek's missed two sitters that he should have buried.
We'll get into that. I get some
You know,
words.
how we haven't scored in that game. On another day, we score 4 in that game, and
Yeah,
we were comfortable winners. Okay, it wasn't a scintillating performance from us. I'm sure we'll play better during the season, but we created more than enough to have put that game away.
yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I was just talking with you. It feels like one of those where it was like written in the stars that no matter what we did, well, no matter what we could do, it was always going to be Forest's day.
Yeah, it had that sense after kind of midway through the second half. We were just thinking it's just going to be one of those days where nothing goes our way. But we have to say as well, we can't put everything down to bad luck. I mean, missing a penalty like Rice did, can't do that. That was to get us back level in the game, and maybe would have swung the game our way. Um, it was a poor penalty. He telegraphed which side he was going. So Dean
Yeah.
Henderson was able to get there. Also, Soucek, particularly like two chances that should be buried, especially the header. You
Let
know,
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, especially the header. That's got to go in. His effort that led to the penalty as well. You got to put that away. I mean, that's close range. Even if the ball wasn't handled by the defender, it was going straight at Henderson. So and we'll get on to individual players later, I guess. But um,
I was
uh,
actually I was kind of segue into it because
yeah, there was more than it wasn't just bad luck today. I mean, there was just some really poor finishing on our part as well.
so the first one I want to talk about is the biggest one I have griped with right now. It's Suchek. Last week we were talking about following the City match where
Yeah,
it's City. Let's see how he does against Forest, but we're just going to keep an eye on him.
yeah,
I I'm curious to know your opinion. Anyone in the chat now or when this show ended up going into a video later, I'm interested to see in the comments as well. But is Suchek really like? Has he finally sold it? Is he not what we thought he was? Is he just struggling to get back to form for some reason? Or what is going on with him? Because he is awful so far this season.
yeah. I don't know what's happened to him. He was really poor last season. We made excuses for him over the summer that maybe it was just the amount of games he played that caught up with him or something,
Yeah.
and that we'd see, how he does this season because obviously he's had his summer off. He's not going to the World Cup, so we hoped, we'd see the old Soucek. Unfortunately, we haven't. He was shocking today. I thought absolutely shocking. So I don't know what the hell is going on with him. I don't know if it's an issue in his head. I can only imagine it is because I mean we've seen previously what he can do. But I know you messaged me this earlier, and I have to agree, Chris. I'm kind of done with Soucek now.
Yeah.
I know.
If we can get a central defensive midfielder in before the end of the window, bye Suchek. Bye. Enjoy the bench or enjoy wherever we send you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm over it.
I don't care if we sell him or not, but we cannot keep playing him. We just
No.
can't. It's just too much of a handicap to,
Yeah.
to play with every week. Um, and yeah, I think before this window closes, it's absolutely vital that we have a central midfielder in there who can play beside Rice. Go to Leicester and ask about Tielemans. See if
I
you can get.
Wholly agree.
Tielemans in there. If we've got Rice and Tielemans, things will be looking much better in there. And there must be some other players for that position that Newman and Moyes have earmarked that we can go and try and grab. But we've got to do something. We have to improve that position. We can't play the rest of the season with Souček as Rice's partner. It would be a real gamble, I think, to put Flynn Downs in there and leave him there. But to be completely honest, against Brighton next week, another team we always
Yeah,
beat easily. uh, Against Brighton next week, I would play, if we don't have someone else in, I would play Flynn Downs. I
yeah,
really would. I would just put Flynn Downs in there and play him. How can it be worse?
yeah. I, he can't, and that's what it is. I mean, missing two sitters like that. I mean, I saw numerous giveaways. He doesn't put in the effort. It almost seems like he's just trying to get by, just doing the bare minimum. And I don't think we can. West Ham is not a club that will stand for that anymore.
Yeah, and there's talk about us giving him a new contract, and I think we should absolutely not do
That's a
that now.
mistake if we give him a new contract.
We should absolutely not do that now.
Yeah,
We should be looking to move him on. If we can't move him on before this window closes, which probably can't, in January, sell him. So or at least just bench him. Just bench
yeah,
him. Play him downs against Brighton. Make Souček realize, listen, you can't perform like that and stay on the pitch.
yeah.
You
I
just can't.
agree.
So get Flynn Downs in there. He's not going to be worse than Souček. Flynn Downs. He's a good player. You know, perfectly capable of playing against Brighton. So yeah, I think just as regards, I've lost hope that we're kind of ever going to see the old Souček again. To be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For those of you who didn't know, too, I had actually messaged Tommy earlier during the match. I just saying I'm done with him, with Souček. That is, so we'll have to follow that, see what happens, we'll see what the developments are. See if
It'll be interesting to see what Moyes' reaction is now. I mean, like all of us did, you can make excuses for him against City
yeah,
because he's playing against incredible players, but he wasn't today. I mean, we had a lot of room in midfield today. I mean, that midfield was open.
that's the thing that frustrates me the most about it. For us, we're not great.
No,
It's
they're
just
not.
we couldn't finish.
No, they're not a good team. They shouldn't have scored at all today. The one goal they did get was fluky. It should have been
Yeah,
0-0, really. So they'll struggle to score goals for us, and they look quite open at the back. I don't think they're going to win a whole bunch of games. They're one of the teams I think are going to be right down there all season in the relegation scrap.
yeah,
So for Souček to play against a team like Forest today, with that midfield so open, with so much room in midfield, which we don't normally see in the Premier League, for him to still have a stinker, is a terrible sign. And if he can't play well today, he's not gonna.
yeah. Patsy brings up a good point here too, talking about what's happened with Bowen. Bowen seems like he's just him and Sufal seem like don't have the step right now. It seems like they're just trying to get back into it.
Yeah, Bowen's situation is very different, obviously, from Souček. Again, we're only 2 games. He had an unbelievable season last season, and we're only 2 games in. And again, you can probably make excuses against City, although I don't think Bowen was at his best. He certainly wasn't today. He's just had a slow start to the season, Bowen, unfortunately. But he's such a good player. I don't think we're going to find ourselves in a Souček situation with him. He's that kind of player, Bowen. He could come out next week against Brighton and play an absolute blinder. So we'll see the best of Bowen again before long, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, this is a great comment from Neil here.
No, as far as I'm aware, they're still together. So
Yeah,
yeah, but no, I'm not worried about Bowen. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He's such a good player, and his form will come back. I'm sure he'll.
yeah. Sufal though, he seems like he's out of step. I don't know what's going on with him. It's like half-hearted challenges, not wanting to take on people at times, like where he usually would. So I don't know what's going on with him either. But again,
It's too soon to put it down to anything like Souček.
Oh yeah, that's why I said we'll just have to continue to monitor, see if he improves.
Yeah, we'll just see how he goes. Hopefully, he'll step it up next week as well. but I'm not worried about Sofal just yet. But yeah, he didn't have a great game today. Um, but at the same time, it wasn't a costly performance on his part. Like that one fluky goal. He's a defender at the end of the day. They scored one fluky goal. He could have offered a bit more along with Bowen
Yeah,
down our right flank in the final third. But again, it's just a flat performance from Sofal again today. So he'll have to pick it up as well. Moyes got some interesting. I'll be interested to see how Moyes reacts to this overall
yeah,
next week. I'll be really interested to see what Moyes does next week and how he reacts to this performance, because this is the one where certain players now Moyes needs to be looking at and saying, okay, your place is gone now.
yeah. No, I completely agree. I want to also move on and talk about everyone's favorite topic, VAR. Obviously, for those of you who are watching the match, West Ham get, in my opinion, clean goal, and VAR says no. Antonio ran into him, so no goal.
Yeah, basically, completely accidental contact. Two players running into each other. It happens all the time in games. Normally, referees just brush it off. They don't give fouls because it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You know, accidental contact, which that was. It was just completely accidental contact.
Yeah,
Happens all
he
the
was
time.
walking into Antonio's path.
Yeah. Um, See, I've spoken about this before with you, Chris, and I know I spoke about it on Hammer's Chat as well once a while back with Gonzo. You know how I feel about the psychological effect it has on a referee when he gets sent to the monitor.
Yeah,
Almost without exception, they will change their decision. Almost without exception. As soon as a ref is sent to the monitor, you can be absolutely certain whatever decision they've made will be reversed.
yeah,
So as soon as the ref gave the monitor signal, I knew, all right, he's going to chalk it off. Because in case anyone who's watching hasn't heard before, just very quickly, um, the referee knows that his colleagues are in the booth at Stockley Park, fellow referees watching, and if they've sent him to the monitor, they think a certain thing has happened. In this instance, that Antonio fell the defender, and so he's already got that in his head before he ever gets to the monitor, that his colleagues think that was a foul against by Antonio. And so when he gets to the monitor, he looks at it. He doesn't want to go against what his colleagues already think.
yeah,
He wants to save face with them. He wants them to respect him. He wants them to feel like he's a good referee. And so he basically makes the decision that he thinks they've made in Stockley Park. He wants his opinion to line up with theirs, basically. And so refs will always go to the monitor and change their decisions.
yeah. No, I can't add any more to that. I mean, you're correct, exactly right, but it just infuriates
But
me.
isn't it? But we have to think like the Premier League have to take notice of this and say, okay, why is it that every single time a referee goes to a monitor, they change their mind? Why? Surely the refs and can't be correct every single time, because the whole VAR thing is interpretive.
Yeah,
So if referees change their minds every single time, that should be a red flag. There should be some percentage of instances where the referee says, "No, actually, I'm happy with my decision, thanks," but they never ever do.
yeah.
The
Well,
referee should have gone to that monitor today and said, "No, no, no, that's an accidental contact. Two players running into each other, goal stands." But it
yeah,
never ever happens.
what it looks like is happening here is Antonio's trying to make a run through, and the defender comes into his path to intercept him to make sure he can't come through. And
Yeah, I mean, both of them went.
how is that Antonio's fault? How is
Yeah,
that?
the defender and Antonio both cut in the same direction
Yeah,
and ran into each other. Now, I don't think it was a foul either way, to be honest. I think it's one of those things where two players just what you would call in NFL incidental contact.
yeah.
Two players just running into each other. There was no intent on either part. So yeah, that was a joke of a decision.
And it ends up costing us at least a point.
Yeah, it cost us. It
But
did
at the
cost
end of
us
the day,
at
though,
least a
too,
point.
we
Yeah.
just couldn't finish. I mean, two underside crossbar hits, two sitters missed by Suchek, a penalty missed by Rice. Forrest should never have been in that game. We should have put it away early and just ran away with it.
Yeah, it should have been a comfortable win. It really should. It should have been at least 3-1.
Yeah,
It really should have been. But that's what you get when you're playing. When you're playing someone like Socek, whose form is dog shit,
yeah.
this is what's going to happen. Um, and Moyes as well doesn't help himself. I mean, we've got Skamaka and Cornet on the bench. There was absolutely no reason they couldn't play today.
I
Absolutely none.
agree.
Look, I love Antonio, and he runs his heart out, and he did it again today. He gave his all, but he just does not score. He
I
doesn't score. He's our
Why you're
number
going
9.
to started off this kind of conversation. I didn't want to. I'm I am not the biggest Antonio fan anymore. I don't know what he offers us right now. I think that if he played with a partner, I think that if we put both Antonio and Skamaka, I think that'd be a lethal duo. But for some reason, Moyes just refuses to put two up front.
Yeah, even when we're 1-0 down, like deep in the second half, and
Yeah.
he's making subs, bringing Skamaka on, he still brings Antonio up off. He still plays
So
with
like
one up.
for like, why does it have to always be a like for like substitution?
Yeah, there was
Change the
absolutely no
lineup,
reason.
change
Yeah,
something.
yeah, there was no reason whatsoever we couldn't have switched to 4-4-2.
No, and we probably would have played even better.
Yeah, I mean, Forest weren't great, so um, 4-4-2 would work. Get Skamaka and Antonio up there. Give those Forest centre backs a bit more to think about. Stretch them a bit more. That's what you should have done. That's what I'd have done. What you'd have done. But Moyes is stuck in his ways. He's just stuck in his ways.
It's so bad how stuck he is. It's so bad how stuck he is. But
Yeah,
and I also was
and
thinking,
do you know what as well, Chris? I mean that was bad enough. But as if that wasn't bad enough, Fornells was having a really good game. He was playing really well. Unlucky not to score as well. But he was moving nicely. Like he was really enjoying that bit of freedom in the middle of the park because there was space there, and he was working well. And Moyes brought him off instead of instead of bringing Socek off.
yeah, you're down 1-0. You don't have to make like for like. Throw everything at him.
Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't want to go 2 up top, what's wrong with 4-1-4-1? Socek was a fucking passenger. So why not just take Socek off? Rice can do the defending in central field. Well, I mean, we were in control of the game at that point anyway. Um, so why not leave Fornells on?
I
And he's
don't
playing well. I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't get it with Moyes.
know.
Um,
It's something that we're always gonna question. I know, but Moyes has 5 subs now too.
yeah,
He could have. I mean, that's half of the team that you can sub off.
yeah,
Like like we're saying, take Suchek off. Even put in Flynn Downs.
yeah. That would have been something. Put Flynn Downs in there. Say, look, Flynn is a proper defensive midfielder. So Declan, you know, you sit Flynn and Deck, you go on your raids. Go
Yeah,
raiding up the field, carrying the ball, do your thing. Flynn's going to sit back and cover, and get that extra body. Like have Royce raiding up around the edge of the box as well. I mean, what fuck are we afraid of Forest for? We'd seen for an hour. Okay, look, this is a fucking very limited team.
yeah.
They're not that threatening. They're not great. So let's get after them for Christ's sake. But Moyes is so cautious.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. I don't know why it took so long. I can't really answer. I can't really answer that. But
Yeah, this is a Moyes thing again. Another Moyes thing. I don't know why he takes so long to get people on. It's ridiculous to be honest. I mean, they should have been on long before they were.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought the same thing. I mean, the camera cut to them, and you could see them,
Yeah, I really.
Lanzini and Skamaka taking the bibs off. Like, let's go, we're ready to go on. And then we just didn't see them for ages. And I was actually starting to think, did Moyes change his mind or something? That he's not bringing him on anymore.
Yeah,
But I can't explain the delay whatsoever.
Lanzini was Lanzini was quiet again. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on with him either. Um, the one thing I do want to say though too, my God, was Ben Rama good today?
Yeah, Benrahma was easily our best player. Easily. He had a great game. Like I said, he scored. You
Yeah,
know, he scored a goal. He hit the underside of the crossbar with a brilliant free kick. He was really unlucky with that. He caused them problems all day long. He was a real thorn in their side. So that
yeah,
was really good to see. And we talked about players we're worried about. Hopefully now that performance from Ben Rama. I mean, he starts next week,
yeah.
surely.
You give me that
Uh,
performance every week, keep playing. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Now look, I know Brighton are better than Forest, but I mean that Ben Rama, needs a lot of pats on the back now from Moyes to say, that's what I'm talking about, Benny. That's what I need from you. That
Yeah,
was
that's what we've
superb
been for
today.
a
Yeah,
minute.
say that was
Oh,
superb today. I'm playing you against Brighton. You've
yeah,
earned your place in the starting 11 next week against Brighton. But remember, when you play next week against Brighton, you have to earn your starting place for the following week as well. So you go out there and keep playing well for me like that, you'll keep playing. So give him that pat on the back, G him up and get his confidence up and show him that, you do rate him and that you are willing to play him and keep him in the team if he's getting it done, if he keeps doing that.
yeah,
And that'll inspire him, to really make sure that he does stay in the side.
yeah.
And
So,
let's be honest, I mean, Benrahma is such a good player that if Moyes can get a tune out of him, can get him playing like that consistently, then we've got a player on our hands that will be of huge benefit to us.
oh yeah. Um, I also did want to point out too, great positive getting to see Cornet make his debut. Uh,
Yeah,
he is rapid.
he's
I didn't
unbelievably
realize
quick.
how fast he is.
Oh yeah, he is unbelievably quick. Um, yeah, Cornet should have been on earlier as well, I think.
I agree. I
Um,
agree. But at
but
least,
he came on very late. But again, Moyes is super cautious. Likes to ease players in.
yeah,
But, so he's frustrating Moyes. But yeah, it was just a frustrating day all round. I think these are the kind of results you look back on at the end of the season and you think, yeah, that's why we're not in European football.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I know that the season is a marathon, not a sprint. But
Hmm.
you can't do well in a marathon if you're stumbling out of the starting blocks.
Yeah, I don't think too many teams are
Because our
going to
next three
go.
matches are Brighton, who is a bogey team for us, Villa, and then Tottenham.
Yeah, tough games. Now Villa haven't started well, but
No,
they
but
did they
I
did
mean
beat Everton, but
they're
I
a
think
decent team still.
yeah, but they're still a decent side, yeah. And the way we're playing at the moment, you wouldn't fancy us against too many teams, would you? So,
I'd still fancy us over United though.
yeah, um,
I had to get the dig in there. I had to get it in.
yeah, we've got to end our bogey run against Brighton next week. That's a pressure game now already. Third game
Yeah,
in. We can't go and lose to Brighton now.
yeah, we
We've
have to at least get a point out of that.
we've got
We
to
need
come
to win
away
it,
with
but we
something.
need a point at least.
Yeah, we've got to get something on the board at this point. A win would be fantastic, obviously. But even if we play very well and come away with a point, at least then you feel like you're kind of up and running a bit.
Yeah,
Um, you got your first point on the board and a good performance, and but really, I think for the team, I think they really need a very good performance and a win. Especially in a game against Brighton, where the players aren't accustomed to winning. So fingers crossed, but we'll see. Um, the next week for me now is huge. We have to have a centre back ready to go against Brighton. We
and
really do.
and that's kind of what I want to get into here too. Thursday we have our first playoff leg of the Europa Conference League. So against Viborg, sorry. Um, what do you do with that? Do you go with your starting 11, your strongest 11 mix
No,
of other teams
we
or other
can't. We
players
can't. No, no, we can't do that now. We just can't. We have to win it. We have to try and go and win at Brighton. But Moyes will absolutely prioritise the Premier League next week. So it'll be interesting to see how much he changes the team against Viborg. I think there'll be a number of changes. I think he'll take a certain amount of risk in the first leg. What that team will look like, I don't know, but Viborg obviously not a great side,
Yeah.
so we should be able to put out a weakened team that would still be capable of doing a job on them. But no, we won't. We won't see we'll see a much weakened side, I would think, a
Oh, I
much
didn't even think
changed
of that.
side.
I didn't even think of that. Moyes isn't there, Rice or Cresswell because of their suspensions.
Yeah, those are enforced.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
yes, it
don't.
is, Wally.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it'll be a much changed side. Um, and I don't know what that's going to mean for us. We have to wait and see what 11 goes out, but I suppose Areola is almost certain to start. Um, but it'll be interesting to see what the other 10 will be. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But there will be a raft of changes, I would think. Moyes is under pressure now.
Yeah.
These two losses, but particularly today's one. He will not want to start the season with 3 defeats in a row. That would be. I mean, you're already way behind the ball then at that point.
Yeah.
So
So really quickly, random question I want to ask for all the Americans or all my fellow Americans in the chat here. Does anybody know where we can watch this match on Thursday? Because I actually do not. I don't know if it's on Paramount. I don't know what it is. So if anyone could get me that let me know that information, I'd be very much appreciative of it. So that way we can hopefully do a live or a post match after that one too.
yeah, I think one of the things I'd take away from today as well that worries me is that the team looks very stale.
Yeah,
It's the same. It's all the same players from the last 2 seasons.
yeah.
So which
It
is
just looks like we
ridiculous.
haven't gotten up and running, like you said. It feels like it almost looks and feels like we're still in preseason.
Yeah, I mean, we should have half the outfield team should be different. Cresswell shouldn't be starting.
Correct.
Um,
He didn't have an awful game today, but he shouldn't be
no,
starting.
he shouldn't be starting anymore. Sofel shouldn't be starting, or excuse me, Socek shouldn't be starting anymore. Royce should have a new partner. I know we tried to bring in Onana, that didn't happen, but there should have been someone else brought in when that didn't work.
Yeah,
So he shouldn't be starting. Corney obviously, I think should have been in there today. Skamaka should be in starting. That's 4 immediately. It just refreshes the team.
yeah, it really
You know,
does.
how often well, you like saying it, Chris, that if you stand still, you go backwards.
Yeah.
So you get overtaken by other teams, and it's all very stale in the team right now. There should be a fresh injection of players in it. Aguirre normally, of course, would be in there as
Oh
well.
yeah, we keep forgetting
There,
about it, but he's out for
there's
a
your
while.
5. So there's your 5 basically. And that's half the outfield team. Areola even potentially should be starting, but Fabianski played well today. In fairness,
Very
um,
well, very well.
so yeah, so this should be a really kind of revamped team, refreshed
Yeah,
with new signings. But unfortunately, it's the same old, and we're very flat right now. And the players even now are going to be under pressure next week. That they will know themselves that we have to go to Brighton and win this game.
yeah. Oh, I completely agree. Hopefully, we can overcome the curse. Well, listen, mate. I think we've kind of exhausted everything we need to talk about. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we start wrapping up here?
Um, yeah, just one thing is, look, I'm not a Moyes out or anything. I'm not going to be screaming about Moyes on Twitter or anything like that. Overall, he's done a really good job, but he needs to be very careful now because I think a lot of this is on him as well.
Yeah,
You know, he's the manager. The fact that we didn't have a single new signing starting the game today, our second game, with only a couple of weeks left in the window, to me, I think is shocking. Frankly, it's shocking. We should not be playing the same 11 from last season. We should have new players in, and they should be playing, refreshing the team. And for the fact that we went into this game again today with Johnson at centre back is a joke. We've known for some time that Aguirre is gone for a while. We've also known for some time that Uggy won't be back for another while either. We've obviously known that for some time that Dawson isn't right. I also happen to think, from looking at today, Zuma definitely is not 100%, and Diop wanted out. So the fact that we were playing one semi-fit centre back and one full back in there is a joke. It's actually a joke.
It's so funny to me, like how we do our transfer business and everything. Last season we invested heavy in defense. This season we're investing heavy in offense. But the other always sucks, but we never invest into both at the same time.
Yeah. So I mean, this next week in the transfer window is
It's
is
crucial.
is huge. I mean, last week was as well, and we did fuck all. Absolutely fuck all. There's no players in the door, which I'm absolutely amazed at. Yeah, Zuma made a challenge on the dead ball line, like at full stretch to block a cross. So he put it out for a corner, and he limped away from it. And I remember him limping quite badly away from it and thinking, "Oh no, this is all we need now. Another centre back gone." We're in massive trouble if Zuma has to go off.
Yeah.
But he was able to play on.
Yeah,
But
I don't know what we do if Zuma has to go off. We don't have a center back.
all we had on the bench was Ashby, one defender, and he's a youngster and he's a fullback.
Okay.
I mean, how it's incompetence, Chris,
Yeah, it really is.
to
It really
find ourselves in this situation where we've got one youngster on the bench who's a fullback, and that's our defense on the bench. It's a joke.
It really is.
It's a joke. We should not be in this situation. Like Augie, I love Augie, but I don't think he should be here beyond this season. Dawson shouldn't be
Yeah.
on here beyond this season. So
We need it. We need a shift younger, and that's the problem.
we need younger centre backs in now that aren't going to be getting injured all the time. That don't have those miles in the legs. Ogbonna and Dawson are going to keep getting injured. Let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
So we need young blood in. So if we're going to sign a centre back this week, I think hopefully we'll get the Kerr deal done, so he can come in from PSG. I don't know if we're still pursuing Diallo from PSG as well, like the left back. That'd be a nice double signing.
Yeah, I don't know if we are.
We need a central midfielder to put in beside Rice, 100%. So and I'd love to see an attacking midfielder too. Frankly, we need someone in that number 10 role who can really do a job for us.
Yeah.
Who's creative and will get assists. And so Moyes got work to do. A lot of it which should have been done by now.
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
have we not got a left back? How have we not got a left back? Left backs are so fucking easy to
You're
sign.
preaching to the choir here.
Left backs are not difficult to buy or to find. There are a number of options. If you gave me half an hour, I'd come back with a list of 10 of them that would be good enough and better than Cresswell, which would be really good options at left back. And I'm not talking £30 million left backs.
Yeah.
How we don't have one is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me.
I don't get it.
That's Moyes, apparently, dithering Dave. Very stubborn in who he wants, and so he's making a rod for his own back if he's not careful.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've exhausted everything we can really talk about here, mate. Yeah. So with regards to Thursday, it's gonna kind of depend because if I got to double check that I can watch it. If I can, I'm down to do a show. If you are, if not,
let me know.
Yeah, and if not, the next match is, as we've been talking about, Brighton next.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, Brighton away. So we'll see how we go on that one.
Yep. So, listen, everyone. I want to say thank you for joining us in the live chat as always. Thank you for tuning in. Keep up the support. We appreciate everything. We're back and doing these regularly again for the season. So we're just going to keep getting better and better with it. Hopefully, so do the performances. So it's either going to be Thursday or Sunday. But until next time, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.